Spoiler alert, the story includes details about The Challenger. The premiere of this is a 6th and final season on NBC. NBC's flagship drama series This Is Us returned tonight for its 6th and final season. For This Is Us tradition, the season premiere marks the Big Three's birthday, but their 41st birthday celebration was mixed with flashbacks to the way they marked the occasion in the pilot 5 years ago. Kevin sharing with models that the Challenger disaster may have thrust his life on the wrong path, Randall tracking down his birth father and Kate struggling with her weight. The premiere's past storyline was set on the January 1986 day of the Challenger explosion and explored the impact the tragedy had on Kevin, Randall and Kate, then about 6 years old. In the present, Kevin and Madison try to co-parent and she seems ready to move on after their failed wedding with a chummy guy from book club, forcing Kevin to move out of the couple's garage and into Kate and Toby's house. Toby is stuck in Silicon Valley on Kate's birthday but sets up babysitting and a massage session for her, capping the day by coming home to surprise her. Meanwhile, Kate overhears future husband Philip explaining to a beautiful woman that he had dumped her because she bores him. Kevin gets an offer for the Manny reboot, this time as the father, not the hot Manny. He initially turns it down, but later reconsiders, putting stability and being around his children first. Randall confronts in court the knife-wielding burglar from season 4, who turns out to be a drug addict with no recollection of the incident. Randall ends up bailing him out and arranging a spot for him at a shelter, but the guy is a no-show. The experience leaves Randall determined to do more for the people of his city. Meanwhile, in a heartbreaking sign of what's to come as she battles Alzheimer's, Rebecca struggles to remember the word caboose. Seeing her frustrated and helpless brings despair for Kevin, but Kate tries to lift him up. "We found the light before, we will find it again," she reminds him. In a Q&A with Deadline, This Is Us creator/executive producer Dan Fogelman speaks about the personal experience behind The Challenger and how the events in the premiere set up the final story arcs for Rebecca and the Big Three. He also discusses other upcoming major storylines and the Manny reboot, teases future episodes, including next week's Lovebirds, and possible returns of favorite characters, and addresses a potential Omicron impact on production as This Is Us is aiming at an almost uninterrupted final season run. Deadline, you wrote the pilot, in which Kevin mentioned the Challenger disaster, and tonight's season 6 premiere, which explored the tragedy's impact on the Big Three. It felt personal. You were 9, I believe, at the time. Was the Challenger explosion something that affected you? Fogelman, it was. I was close to 36 years old when I first sat down to write the series. By the time it actually got made and put on television, I was a couple of years older than the characters. So, these characters were like 6, 7, and I was more like 9 to 10. I had a very blessed childhood, growing up, a pretty normal childhood in Pittsburgh, where grandparents, including a set of grandparents who had divorced and gotten remarried, nobody had died. I had not experienced a lot of personal loss, and so, that experience of watching the Challenger explode on national television in a classroom when I was a kid was a really early moment of trauma for a lot of kids who hadn't experienced personal loss yet. It's hard to just accomplish it in one episode of television, but at that time, and everybody who's seen it who's roughly of the same generation as I am remembers that experience very viscerally, the television being wheeled into the room and then quickly being shut off when the teachers realized what was happening and wheeled out of the room, it was very formative. I can't even speak to what it did to me as much as just I do have a really tangible memory of it where I was sitting in the room when it happened. In order to really understand it, you have to understand that kids at that time, we had been fed at school, it was such a big deal that this teacher was going up into space. We had had a lot of time sitting and getting educated about it and about her, and so it was very personal to a whole generation, I think, of American kids, when it happened, who were of that age. Deadline, the way you described it, it feels like yours was close to Kevin's reaction. Of the Pearson triplets, was his the one that mirrored how you felt at the time? Fogelman, yeah, we had great conversations in our writer's room about varying people's reactions and how much it affected them. One person remembered a child who had actually, not knowing what to do with their feelings, they started laughing and cheering when everybody realized what happened because he or she was a little kid who didn't really completely understand what was going on, and that was how they vented. I think the triplets are all going through it in the show in different ways, and Kevin has had a tendency to repress a lot of the really bad stuff. I think, at various times, Kate and Randall have an easier time sinking into feelings and talking about their feelings, and Kevin has been somebody who lives in a constant state of existential crisis, potentially because he has a really hard time addressing stuff. And so, it's much easier for Kevin, as a little boy, to say, "Oh, it's just all on television, it wasn't real," than it is for him to process what exactly has happened, and it's only at the end of this episode when he lies in bed with his little sister, who is his most intimate confidant, that you can see what's really going on in his mind's eye, which is what goes on through a lot of kids' eyes when they see trauma or see loss. It is the realization that the two people who I depend on, my mom and my dad, or some combination of that, are going to die at some point, and that's a really, really intense realization for little kids. Deadline, the Challenger disaster remark by Kevin in the pilot. Did you intend at the time for it to be revisited? Because this is probably the longest it's taken for something mentioned on a show to be addressed again. Fogelman, yeah. I had always talked about wanting to go back towards the things that were discussed in the pilot, and particularly, the Challenger explosion. It was this past year that we decided to make it our season premiere because of the territory we're going to be exploring in the course of the season and just in terms of setting the tone. But in terms of returning for the Challenger explosion and seeing what it did to Kevin as a little boy and the other kids, yeah, it was always something that we wanted to return to at the end. To say, in the back of minds an entire episode was mapped out, no, we're never as smart as I'd like it to seem we are, but yeah, it was definitely intended. Deadline, in the season 6 premiere, there was multiple nods to the pilot. The Challenger line was part of the montage of the Big Three and Jack's birthday celebrations, and also Kate's speech to Kevin referenced the low moments they went through in the pilot. The retrospective tone, is this something that you're going to continue, this being the final season? Fogelman, no, it's not something we're going to continue. It was intentional to set up the feeling of nostalgia for the audience and for all of us who have stuck with the show for 6 years. The idea that we're at the beginning of completing a journey, and in this first episode back, I'm going to remind you of where this all started in the same hour of television, and we're also going to continue the story, is more intentional in that we're now entering the beginning of the end of our story. It was an opportunity for us, as we start the season, to remind the audience of that and put that into the context of our show and then set us forth for the final bit. Deadline, okay, not many flashbacks to previous episodes. What about bringing back favorite characters? That's also a staple for final seasons of shows. Fogelman, yeah. We've always had characters who were the favorites returning quite often. People like Gerald McCraney and Ron, Cephas Jones, and other parents in the show have always been filtered in throughout our series. So, the hope would be, yeah, you get a send-off for all those characters, as well. We have plans on how we're going to do all that stuff. One of my favorite things about ever going to a great Broadway show, if you're lucky enough to get to New York and go to a great show, back when all the theaters were open, is that moment, at the end, when we've really fallen into a show, and one by one, the characters who you've just watched for 3 hours get to come out and take their little bow. I've always hoped that we could give that to all the actors in the show, which is not all at the end, not all in the final episode, or anything like that, but tangible moments where these characters, whether it be the younger versions of our adult actors or teenagers, get their final moment in the sun before we close the book. Deadline, you mentioned Gerald and Ron. The pilot featured his Dr. K, it featured William. Should we assume that those key characters that kicked off the show would find their way into the final season? Fogelman, that would be the hope, yeah. I don't commit to anything anymore, with not knowing what's ahead with COVID, but yeah, that's for sure. Deadline, we will address the pandemic in a bit. Let's first go through the storylines that you set up in the premiere. We can see how the seeds for Kate's romance with Philip are being planted, but it also seems like Toby would not give up his marriage without a fight with this grand romantic gesture of him coming back for Kate's birthday. How long will that play out until we get to Kate and Philip's wedding? Fogelman, it's going to take a while. This season has a slow build towards it to set up the dominoes that then have to fall, particularly in relating to that story. As you said, we always felt that this is not a marriage that would just go quietly into the night. It would be a marriage that both participants fight for, and so, yeah, it doesn't happen immediately. When it does happen, I think it's going to be done in a way that feels both real, but doesn't all feel like one thing, in that it doesn't just feel like two characters who are being vicious towards each other non-stop and have fallen out of love, and it's ugly, and terrible, and mean. I think when you're able to